Disney officially backpedals on their plans to destroy Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island in favor of their brand new Cars Land. Hello everybody, welcome. We now have brand new information and details that changes everything. And it is giving fans across the world hope that this new area could be a positive change after all. It has been almost a year since Disney at their D23 Expo in Anaheim completely floored everybody with the announcement of a brand new Cars area and attractions coming to Magic Kingdom. What was sure to be a big hit for fans of Disney, they thought for sure this was going to be a smash success and hit at their D23 Expo, ended up being a surprise disaster that they never saw coming. Instead of being heralded as a massive improvement for Magic Kingdom, fan backlash erupted, almost universally condemning this addition to Magic Kingdom and condemning Disney for their complete disregard and wanton destruction of Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, part of Walt Disney's original vision for Frontierland. While most people agree that Rivers of America and the Riverboat and Tom Sawyer Island are not highly visited or profitable areas for Disney in the Magic Kingdom, absolutely, people pretty much agree this is not like the most highly trafficked attractions or areas of the park. However, us fans almost universally agree that the beauty this area and this space brings to Disney and Magic Kingdom really just cannot be overstated or ignored. And while Disney is systematically destroying all of their water features, all of their parks, and removing the park out of theme parks, Universal is over there in their parks like Epic Universe and just adding spellbinding, beautiful water features and park areas into their theme parks. Beautiful relaxation spaces. They are just nailing it on every front and really doing the opposite of what Disney is doing. Now, Disney was absolutely stunned by this backlash. They did not see it coming at all. Clearly, they had no clue they were going to get this. They thought for sure this Cars area, these Cars attractions, replacing the rivers was just going to be a smash hit. They didn't see it coming, so they were completely stunned and immediately went to work on how they were going to do damage control. How are we going to alter or change our plans or do something that is going to quell that fan backlash? Because it was massive. In fact, 6 months ago, I did videos and talked a lot on my channel about the fact that I was getting some inside information immediately after D23 Expo that this shocking news and this backlash from them was making them reevaluate what they were going to do with this space, and that they were going back to work to figure out how to adjust or change this to remove that fan backlash. How could they salvage this situation? I even created some visualizations on my channel about what they could potentially be thinking and what they could do to essentially save a portion of Rivers of America while still creating their plans for the Cars area. And I even showed these plans in my video. And unsurprisingly, which happens quite often on my channel, is people just came out of the woodwork on these videos. They were commenting in my channel, commenting on the videos, and basically telling me I had no idea what I was talking about, and I'm a liar, and I'm an idiot, and Cars Land's gonna be amazing, screw Rivers of America, nobody cares about Tom Sawyer Island. I mean, people were just going crazy in the comments about this stuff. And I'm like, watch and see. I'm telling you, I'm hearing information. I'm hearing that they did not expect the backlash. They have to rethink things. How are they gonna salvage this situation? And people were just calling me insane. So here we are 6 months later, and we have brand new concept art, what we refer to as a fun map. It's sort of a classic Disney fun map variation of the artwork of what is going to be coming for this land. They've now released it, and just looking at this new fun map, it is very clear that once again, I was correct. Yes, they have reimagined it. They went back to the drawing board and they thought, how can we fix the problems? How can we save as much of Rivers of America as possible? We also have the official closing of Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, which is coincidentally my birthday, July 7th of this year, 2025, will be the last we'll see of those. So let's take a look at this new concept art, this new artwork that we have. Break it down. It gives us far greater detail than what we've seen in the past and more information about this land. Now, before we go too deep, I know what you might be thinking. You may be saying, no, he's wrong. This isn't a reimagining. This is just them clarifying based on the concept art and adding a little bit more detail. And you would be totally correct if it weren't for one thing. If Josh D'Amaro had not gotten up on stage in the D23 Expo and said, we are showing you nothing today that is blue sky. If you don't know the history, all the D23 Expos for the past few years have just been showing blue sky concepts, things they're thinking about doing, and say, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we did this? Check it out. How cool would it be? Even if they didn't actually have any plans to go forward with it. And it got everybody excited, and then people started to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. They started to go, you know what? We're not getting excited about your concepts because they're all blue sky, and you don't end up doing any of them anyway. And so Josh last year got up on stage and said, you know what? Nothing we're showing is blue sky. Everything is shovels in the dirt. We have construction plans and permits filed. This is all real stuff that's happening all far along. None of this is blue sky. So if that is true, then we are beyond the point where they don't know what they're doing. If there's shovels going in the dirt and they got construction stuff ready, this means that they had a plan, that this is what they were doing, or Josh was lying on stage. You can be the judge on which you think it was, but basically we're going to go with they had plans. So this isn't just a simple clarification. This isn't just adding a little bit extra detail. This is a reimagining of what the Cars area is going to be. And you will see from the concept art, they have pumped up the water significantly. I mean, there was almost no water in the original concept art. Now, it's important to note that the style of this art, once again, is a fun map style. Like I said, classic Disney fun map, which means not everything in there will be formal representations. You can't really look at that as the formal diagram for the park, but it does give us a better idea of what to expect. And you can see some big changes from the concept art to what this new fun map shows us. As I mentioned, the water has been amped up big time. If I sort of zoom into different areas of the map, let's go back and forth between the two maps and you can kind of see the differences. In the original concept art, there was very little water. You see some bridges here and there and some indications that maybe there was a little stream or a little water in that space. You can kind of line it up with the buildings along Frontierland and the Liberty Square there, which is where the riverboat structure is. You can see the big differences in how much water and the width of the water and the spacing of the water, completely different. They do both feature sort of a waterfall element, so you can see that there, but it is much more amplified in this version. In the original concept art, you can see some bridges that sort of go over the water, almost look sort of similar to the bridges that exist today in Frontierland that go all along sort of that bank there, and it goes over the water. It almost feels like some of those bridges may actually be kept intact the way that they are. In the original concept art, you can see that they focused very heavily on the attraction itself, and in the fun map version, it seems like they've focused a lot more on the landscape and the beauty that this new area is going to portray. They've also given us a name which says, welcome to Piston Peak. Obviously, it is supposed to blend in very well with the areas of Frontierland and Liberty Square. It's supposed to feel much more organic and natural as an extension to the area versus a complete like uprooting and replacement. The original concept art was very heavy on snow and sort of evergreen trees. And while we still see some evergreen trees in the fun map, we also see a lot of different types of deciduous trees, things that are going to be much more natural to the area and make it feel like it blends in better. And just looking at it holistically on this new version, it is almost as though the entire area is encompassed by water. There is one side here along the right side of the map where it connects directly to what I will assume is going to be the Haunted Mansion area. And this is important because we know that in order for them to do the Villain's Land, which I think everybody is excited for the Villain's Land. I'm excited for it. I don't have any negatives about it. I have no qualms about bringing Villain's Land. I'm excited about it because they're not crushing anything really to do Villain's Land. But in order to create Villain's Land in that space beyond Thunder Mountain, behind Haunted Mansion and those areas by the Utilidors, In order to create that, they have to get rid of Rivers of America, at least a portion of it. And so I always kind of knew that Cars Land was most likely going to go forward in some variation. Maybe not what they originally proposed, but in some form. Because if they didn't do this Cars reimagining, then we wouldn't get Villains Land, because there's no way to get back there. The Rivers of America that goes behind on the back end of Tom Sawyer Island, that is where the riverboat has to go through to the connecting passageway back there behind Thunder Mountain, because that's where the dry dock is, where they can refurbish and they can do things to the riverboat, which means that likely the riverboat is going to go. It is not anywhere on the fun map. It's going to have to be taken out of the equation. A lot of people have said, hey, wouldn't it be great if they put the riverboat out front of the new Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou, maybe made it into some sort of restaurant. That would be really cool. I don't know if we're going to get that or not. I think that the riverboat is going to go, and it's going to go away because they don't have, once they sort of wall that water off and they don't have any way to get the boat out of there, it's going to make it really hard to fix, improve, do changes to it if it has problems. And so, as I said, in order to create Villains Land, they have to get rid of that back half of the circle and take the riverboat out. So it looks like that is what we are getting, in fact. So you can see all of the sort of walking paths in the upper right-hand corner of the map. That is going to lead to Villains Land eventually. So taking you beyond Thunder Mountain, beyond the Haunted Mansion, back into that back space back there where Villains Land will be created. The overall color and tone and vibe of this fun map definitely feels more aligned to Frontierland than the original concept art. The original concept art doesn't look like it belonged at all near Frontierland. It looks like a completely different area of the country. The colors, the styling, everything is totally wrong. The new fun map makes it feel very similar, and it also makes it feel much more in line with the attractions that we're getting. The big rally race attraction, which is going to be similar to like the test track or similar to the Radiator Springs out there in Disney's California Adventure, but because it has a twist on it from taking it from roadways and speed cars to sort of these off-road vehicles that are be going up and down mountainous terrain with shocks on them and things. It's not going to be a trackless ride. People are misinterpreting that. I've said that before. It's not going to be real dirt. It's just going to be an attraction like a test track in a more Frontierland off-road dirt type terrain attraction. So that totally feels much better. It feels like it fits better. A lot of people have been concerned about the noise and the sight lines. Disney Imagineers have now come out and addressed that and said this new version and the way they're thinking of it is definitely going to be taking sight lines into account. You won't be able to hear the attraction from places like Haunted Mansion and being in the queue or areas walking along Frontierland. You're not going to hear the attraction, so it won't ruin the ambiance. I do think that water separation that they've created there between the Frontierland sort of walking area and this new space is going to make a big difference, because there's going to be more distance between where the attraction will be and where you're just kind of walking and relaxing. So this is a massive improvement, a big change. It is not just clarification, it is a reimagining, and I'm really digging what I'm seeing. They've also created a new original character for this area. His name is Park Ranger J. Autobahn Woodlore, which is basically a variation on the human version of him called Ranger J. Audubon Woodlore. Basically, he was a character in a lot of the classic Disney cartoons, a park ranger, all the way back to the 1950s. So that's kind of exciting. We have a new Cars character that's going to sort of be like the park ranger. Most likely we're going to get some sort of animatronic version of this park ranger. It's going to be featured in the attraction or queue or the land somewhere, which I think is really cool. We also know there is a family fun attraction in this area. We don't know much about it yet, but you can kind of see where it would be there in the concept art. But once again, just a lot of water features. I'm getting very much like a Wilderness Lodge type aesthetic. If you've ever been to Wilderness Lodge in Walt Disney World, it has lots of natural, it has like geysers that they've built that to simulate like natural formations of rock and geysers. So there's like lots of water sort of spouting out. So again, they've really just amped up the style of this and the water features, making a huge deal. And I think that this is definitely their way of trying to save as much of Rivers of America as possible and address that fan backlash. Now, obviously, we are losing Tom Sawyer Island. I don't think too many people are going to be upset about that. Some people are, but most people aren't. So overall, this is a massive improvement. I still love Rivers of America. The proof will be in the pudding once they start building it. It's going to be closing very soon. They're going to start building the attraction. And I'm really hoping that the water features do stick out and they still give us that sort of sense of Frontierland, being out there in the West, very much maintaining sort of the natural beauty of the world in this area of the park. I think it's going to be a big deal. So hopefully we get more information soon, but I am very excited about the fact that we are getting Rivers of America. It is saved to a certain extent, and I'm very happy with that. As I predicted, it's totally coming true, and so I'm excited. I'd love to hear what you think. Is this a big positive improvement from the last concept art? Are you excited about it? Are you less angry and upset about losing that area of the park? To me, this is sort of the best case scenario, as we are getting sort of a lot of that natural beauty staying there. They've downplayed a lot of the like snowy areas of the park. They've made the vibe fit better. They're addressing sight lines and sound lines. I'm just going to call sound lines. I'll coin that term. I feel like this is a much better improvement, and it still enables us to get the Villains Land, which I think is what I'm the most excited about. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think? Is this a good change, bad change? What are your thoughts? Love to hear from you. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and share this video with all your friends. They're probably going to know what's going on over there at Disney World. Until I see you next time, thanks again for watching. The Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.